Going on, guys?
What's up? What's up, Arturo?
Oh,
My man. How you guys doing?
Good, brother. Um, I what's up, Vaughn?
Man, how's it going?
Great, brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Arturo, I had the conversation with the lady,
Which one? The
the cash cow
okay,
from last week. I'm gonna go check the house tomorrow,
okay.
and
How did it go? Did
basically
you record it?
I recorded. I can send it to you.
Okay. How did it go overall?
I think overall it went good. I think they understand. At the on the conversation, I was like, hey, listen. When you go to a doctor, do you want them, to lie to you, or do you want them to tell you the truth? Just like how we talk about.
Okay.
And then, I explained to her, the situation of the property, and how can we convert the property, to be a cash cow, or an asset instead of a liability. They understood, and I said, I know you want to quiet the title most of the time, from what I see, um, those things don't work. um, and speaking with my partners, they mentioned to me that it's not the same. It doesn't work always. So you can try that if you want, or we can do this. So tomorrow I'm gonna go there with Vernon, because Vernon,
Area?
he knows about the whole thing too, and he's pretty good on checking the properties to see if we need a lot of work.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Definitely.
And at this point, that's it. I think the only question that I was gonna ask you is, after that, I would just send the agreement, the master lease, right, agreement,
Yep.
and then sign it and take over. Um, what would be the next step? Like, let's say, once time comes, and the house go to foreclosure, how would I go about it? Just just do the application for the bankruptcy.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Bernard.
I
So,
would say
go ahead.
don't even do that. Just get you have in place the attorney that you want to use and have with and foreclosure process having them down around 400 a month.
Okay, Vernon, I did not listen to a thing that you said. It broke up really bad.
You were saying something about just hiring an attorney and telling them what, Bernard? I don't know if it's you. I think your signal's real choppy, Bernard. I thought it was my side, but yeah, it sounds like it's yours.
Yeah, I think it broke up. But in the meantime, her concern is, Arturo, that her credit is gonna get hit,
But
right? Once,
it's gonna get hit right now. It's still it's getting foreclosed.
well, I'm saying is, not his, because the house that we're gonna cash cow on is under his name, but the house that they own, it's under, both names. Would her
Her
credit,
credit her credit's still getting hit though.
her credit is gonna get hit?
It's still getting hit on her old new house as well.
Well, but the other house is under only his name.
Yeah, but that's again, who has the other house that they have? Is it financed or it's owned already?
No, it's financed.
So yeah, her credit's getting hurt already because of this house that they have.
Okay, so there's no way
Nope, there's no
to
way, and that's why you gotta. This is one of the things you gotta tell the client. You gotta be 100% behind this man. Again, your credit's already getting hit right now for this house, and for all credit that you have, this house pops up as being past due.
So
Even though
remember, they didn't. The credit is not getting hit right now.
it
It's
has to.
gonna it's gonna get hit because because of the liens and stuff.
No.
What
So
they
this house, the one that you're trying to negotiate,
hmm
that house has a lien
Yeah, that house has 100,000 lien on it.
and it has a mortgage as well.
Yes.
And who's paying that mortgage?
He's paying the mortgage.
but they want to let it go.
They like, yeah, because I told
Well,
them that, you know,
well, yeah, if you let it go, it's of course it's gonna hurt the credit against it's
okay, so
gonna
it's
happen. Yeah,
gonna
if you let
hurt.
it go, yeah, that's
How
one of
much?
the things.
Because they try to buy another property, you know, like
No,
down the
it's not
line.
gonna. No, nope, it's gonna get hurt for at least for as long as you have it as a cash cow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of
And
course.
how much does it drop? Like she has a 800 credit
No,
score.
no, yeah, 400s.
How much?
For gonna be debt credit, it's not gonna be able to work for anything.
Oh, okay.
And this is where you gotta be upfront with the seller. You can't be telling, oh no, only 200 now. So you're no longer gonna be able to get anything out on credit while you're in this program as far as doing the rental riches.
Mm,
And that's why you gotta ask them, are you 100% behind it? Because I don't want you to come back later on and say, hey, you didn't tell me this, you didn't disclose, because I want to make sure that you're 100% behind this, because I don't want to have that conversation.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
it only works when the owners already passed you under credit, passed you on their house, most likely passed you on other stuff, but it's 100% already past you, and it's not gonna get better. And that's why you can't tell the owners, oh, it's only gonna be 200 points or 100 or 50 points. Now you're not a credit expert, so why you even give them numbers?
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So I
You
gotta
gotta make
let them.
sure you
I gotta
disclose
let
that.
them know.
Make sure you disclose that.
Yeah. On the next meeting, when I see the property, on the next meeting, I'm gonna let them know.
Just make sure you understand 100% fully what it means. Your credit, once you stop letting go of your payments, everything's gonna go to shit. Make it
Hmm.
worst case scenario, and if they accept the worst case scenario, then you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Mako. And did you get the from Coach Pat, the lawyer's name in New Jersey?
No, I was in the, again. I threw. Somebody had already asked in that area for
Mm.
New Jersey, and again, he put, I think, a couple of people to respond to their answer, and they never got it. The best way is just to Google it,
Oh
foreclosure
crap.
defense, and then put New Jersey or the county, and just make the
Okay.
calls.
Okay. But you know, by that time, when am I gonna need an attorney, anyways?
When again, this is where you got to be searching the foreclosure. What's it called? Sales.
Okay.
Again, every week, search until you see, and you'll see it. Because
Hmm.
you know where the county posts the foreclosures. So once you see it, okay, now it's time to get an
Mm,
attorney.
okay.
And there's multiple ways. Again, if and this is one of the things that Coach Pat brought up, and I asked him. Once you have the house under a lease, right? You can put the house in there under a trust, and then you can basically file bankruptcy twice under a trust. You can do that. It doesn't
Hmm.
have to be anybody else. You can do that because it's a trust. It's not a living. It's not a person. It's an entity, but it's not a person.
Yeah.
So you can file twice. And my question, which I mentioned last time, was, can we just, once we expire those two bullets, as far as to file bankruptcy twice on the, again, we're not, again, going back, this is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not giving you any legal advice on anything, but once you use up those two bullets for the first land trust, and I asked him, he's going to run it by his attorney, can we just remove that house from that land trust, like cancel the land trust and then start a new land trust? So let's say land trust A, we did it
Hmm.
twice, and then we cancel that one, and we do land trust B, we do it twice, and then again. If we could do that, then we have unlimited bullets.
Gotcha.
And he did say, wow, that's a great idea. So we want to see, I want to wait for him to tell me what happened with that. And if it works,
Okay.
then we have unlimited bullets, basically.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll keep me posted then on that.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. And just on that one, make sure, man, don't get in trouble. Make sure you let him know your credit's gonna go to shit.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
And
do.
there's something you can do with it until we get this thing resolved. So if you're 100% game with that, perfect. If not, again, I don't want to mislead you. I'm just telling you honest. It's gonna be worst case scenario.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, because they don't have any other options. I mean,
Yeah.
if they have basically what's happening is And I asked him, what options do you have? The guy was like, yeah, where you at on this situation? And the guy told me, well, I'm waiting for the attorney to get back to me,
Yeah.
to
So
file the
it sounds
paperwork.
like they don't know what to do.
Yeah,
They just need somebody to either tell them, hey, this is what I can do.
yeah,
And you're 100% behind it. You know what? Your credit's gonna go to shit. I can guarantee you, but I can also guarantee you that we can cash out this property while we rent it. So you
yeah,
know two options. They're diggle daggling on the other one about them doing them themselves, but for you, you're saying a certainty, which is good. But yeah, just keep us posted on what happens and record the calls. And if you have any questions, just text me or on the next call.
yeah,
Uh,
perfect.
what's going on, guys? Happy Friday. We got a little bit of
And
cold weather
just
here in
one thing,
Miami.
Arthur. I text you on the WhatsApp. I don't know if you saw the message, and I'm not be able to put the lead in.
Okay, what happened? Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Vernon, you were trying to say something, Vernon? I don't know if you left or you're still in here. Um, Alan, Garrett,
Hey, what's going on, guys?
what's going on, Garrett?
All
Have we
right, all
met?
right.
Have you been on our previous Fridays calls? I don't
A few
remember.
times.
Oh
a few
yeah, I
times.
get you. Yeah. I'm real bad with names, man. I don't even remember my wife's name, and she gets upset. I just kind of
Yeah. Um, I finally got access to this. Well, this is a particular county in New Mexico that I am looking at for probates and affidavits.
okay.
Las Cruces, New Mexico. So a secretary actually just got back to me yesterday in regards to getting access, and so I'm going to start digging for county records on their website.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely dig in. And I know now I put the face to the name. Alan, you texted me that you had access to some county records. But yeah, all you gotta do again,
bro.
once you know what you're looking at, as far as you might know the name, just dig through the paperwork, read it, and then yeah, just once you get leads, if I was you guys, do it every once a week. Scrape all the ones you have, look at the ones that look good, skip trace them, call them, text them, SMS them, RBF them. One of the things that I'm gonna start doing for what's it called, bad properties, another hack. So for bad properties, right? Let's say like not abandoned properties, just like ugly houses, like lien notices when they're still living there, or maybe even for a vacant house. Again, you never know. Sending them a letter as far as a concerned citizen. What does that mean? So I'm gonna write a letter. Hey, I'm your neighbor. Again, I just want to reach out to you. I need you to fix your house. I'm calling code enforcement on you, and send it to that address, right? So let's say I send it today, Friday. I know it's gonna get there on Tuesday. So guess what I'm doing on Thursday, on Wednesday? I'm calling them. Hey, ma'am, I saw your house, drove by it. Again, are you interested in selling? Now they have in the back of their mind, my fucking neighbor of an asshole of a neighbor is gonna call code enforcement on me. Maybe I should just sell it. That's another hack that works again, because if they get a letter from a concerned citizen because they're complaining about the property being in bad condition. Now when they get the letter, they're reading it, they're upset, and it's true. The house is in shitty condition, and then now I call them afterwards saying, "Hey, I'm looking to buy properties in that area. Are you interested?" Now you got two pain points. I'm trying to solve the pain point from the neighbor that actually sent them a letter, that went out of the way to send the letter to them, and it doesn't have any return address. It only has a letter saying, "Hey, I'm a neighbor by yours. Again, we never had a conversation before, but I'm really upset. Make it flagrantly. I'm really fucking upset that you can't keep out your fucking house." You know what I mean? And then again, the next time, I'm gonna give you a week for you to start fixing your house. I'm calling the police for nuisance. I'm gonna call code enforcement to come give you fines. Again, make it as colorful as possible, so that when you make that call, he has top of mind. So let's say your mail is gonna get there on Tuesday, call it on Wednesday. You know what I mean? And that's another hack. You're trying to bring up the pain, make them emotional. So when you call them, they make an emotional reaction to, yeah, fuck it, let's sell it. I don't care about this property no more. Then they'll rationalize it. That's from Sean Flanagan as well. I think Sean Flanagan. I just ran it, like I just remembered it. So that's gonna be another type of lead source that's gonna be able to help me as far as vacant houses. Send them a letter from a concerned citizen. But the thing about this is just doing it. We got to do it. We can't just say it. We gotta do it. So like last time, a couple of Fridays ago, Vernon had told me about posting them on Facebook. So I created my Facebook page, and from my notary public and for my forbearance, well, mainly for the notary public. So I created the page. Yes, you see it. This is on Facebook, right? And then I started posting on hospice care. Let me see. Like if you Google my area, put hospice care. Let me see. So on hospice care, on some pages you can post as the page. You know what I mean? Which works for us. That means you can post. Let me see. So you see here. You guys see there. So that's one of the local pages here in my area that does hospice care, right? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna post a comment. Hello, just like to introduce our free notary public service. See service. Stay safe. Stay safe. Post. So now I just posted on their last post. So it's just to be, and then when they click on my link on my website, who is this guy? Well, it's free mobile, and then it says what I do. It says on the on the main on my welcome page, it says all that I do for free. So you see, actionable. Burn it up. You know, you don't have to. He said, well, you don't have to go and drive. You can just go to their pages and post on behalf of your notary public, free notary public. So yeah, like, oh, wow, that's again, I wasn't even looking at that at the picture that way, but now I learned. I created my 2 pages, and I started posting on their websites, on their actual Facebook pages. If somebody goes in there or that wants to put their parents into hospice, their first thing they're gonna search is gonna be Google, and the second thing is gonna be Facebook, hospice care, and then they'll see, okay, well, this one's look, they're actually providing a free service for free mobile notaries. Boom. Then there, I get to provide a free service, meet sellers or meet the people that need the service, and if they most likely it's gonna be for a transaction they need to get done, or maybe a power of attorney for a medical power of attorney, but eventually it's gonna be a house that needs to get disposed. But yeah, again, actionable. So the ones that I'm telling you about, mailing the owners of houses, hey, as a concerned citizen, I'm gonna send probably like 30 this weekend, which that's gonna be kind of expensive. It's $15, but again, it's gonna be 30 highly niched houses. They either they're vacant or not vacant. They're people that are living in there because I want the owners to receive it, and maybe they owe taxes, and maybe they have other previous code violations already. So this is gonna be a stack. It's gonna be a code violation stack. It's gonna be a hot zip code stack, and it's gonna be probably a tax delinquent stack. So I can just minimize it to 15 to 30 accounts that I sent. They're highly niched, and then once they hit them, I'm gonna call on them probably 2 to 3 days after. So we can just send them at random, like Gary, like you can't just send them at random because you're gonna spend a lot of money. You gotta be able to be highly niched. The hot areas that are in my area, not abandoned or highly co-violated properties that the county's already telling them, hey, you need to fix it, but there are people living in there, and then they have the tax delinquent stack. And all that, again, is just knowing how to use Excel. You know your tax delinquent, or when you see a co-violation property, just search on the county records and see if there's any past due taxes. You don't have to pay a service. I try, like you guys know me, I try to pay for no services. But yeah, actionable things. Again, I'm telling you how to do it, and I'm gonna do it, and then I'll show you to you next week how I did it, and I'll see the results. So yeah, guys, sorry I was just ranting there, but yeah, what's going on, guys? Any other questions? How was your week as far as leads? I assigned three properties this week: a fiveplex, a 3-1, and a 3-2 in my area. Three properties. So again, the market's nice. It's just a matter of knowing. Thank you, brother. It's just a matter of what's it called, knowing what you got and knowing how to market. If you are, one of the things that I've learned, if you are in your local Facebook group for real estate investors, you know how that happens, right? If you're there for a long time. I've noticed that there's more response when you create another profile, another Facebook profile, and then request to join the network as far as the Facebook group for real estate investors and post new deals. You'll have a much more, what's it called, response to, hey, I got a 3-2 in this county, I need a buyer. They'll respond to you much higher than you that have a seasoned account. So it doesn't work when you have a seasoned account when you're trying to get buyers. I've noticed that, and I followed it. So I'm gonna create another, and usually they're like burner Facebook accounts where you just create it, boom, and then you log into a group, create request access to a group, and then try to get buyers, and then just do it. That's one thing. Again, you always got to be aware of your surroundings. That's one thing that I've noticed a lot. Another thing in my area, putting real beat up houses on the Facebook marketplace gets a lot of responses as well. So that's another thing that I gotta see how I can monetize that, where I can get more. I don't have that property like a ghost ad in Craigslist, but it's gonna be a ghost ad in Facebook. So yeah, those little things that I'm looking to just see how I can test it to see if it works. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of you gotta be able to do it. So what's up, guys? Any things you went over as far as the week? Any calls that you guys did? Do you have any what's called things that you want to run by me as far as rebuttals? You know what could I have done in this property, or et cetera, how to negotiate, how do I always ask for the second discount, et cetera, man. Let me know.
Hey Ace, I came across tax waivers in the county record search. I mean, what are those, and what's the game plan for those?
What was the tax what?
Waiver.
Okay. What did the document say?
Oh, it's essentially saying that, well, some of them says that, the state has a 25% interest in it, or some says that, this is there's no I guess taxes due on it. So I didn't know if this was a lead. These are prospects worth going after,
well, what I'm thinking is it's people that are past due on their taxes, and again, to qualify for a tax waiver, there has to be a reason. Either you're gonna be a veteran, or you're gonna be a disabled person, an elderly person, a Syrian citizen, or have a what's it called, low income, what's it called, kicker. Usually in my area, if you're low income to a certain level, let's say you earn less than 10K, you might get free cable, free internet, free phone, a discount at the light, a discount at the cable. So there's reasons why there's waivers or credits like that. Spectrum provides that service as well. If you're over a certain age, they give you a discount for your services. So I'm thinking for that one, yeah. So how do you target them? So again, first of all, I don't know how many you got. Let's say you got 20. If I was you, just go through every single one of them. Google map it, see the area, see the last image that Google has, and see if it's a property that the owner might have interest in selling. How? Well, is it an old property as far as does it have a lot of trash? Once you do that, you also do it on because remember, you don't have 100, you only have 20, let's say, per se.
Right.
You also go into the county records maybe that waiver was for last year's taxes, or maybe for 3 or 4 years ago taxes. Maybe they have new taxes that are past due. And then what you do another thing, once you know the name of the owner of that property, you try to search the name of the owner of the property at the county records, see if there's any lawsuits that are being active on this owner, any other things that are being recorded against this owner. Because most likely, if you get a waiver, it's because you don't have money to pay something yourself. So maybe if you can't pay for your taxes, most likely you might not be able to pay for mowing, so you might have co-violation liens, etc.
Gotcha.
So it's, again, you see how you're webbing everything. Okay, it's a waiver. Why? Probably low income. Then I look at the CAT, the county appraisal district. Oh yeah, they owe taxes. They have the over 65 exemption. Okay, let me look at the county clerk's records. Oh, you know what? They had a code violation here. Oh, and there's another one right here. Oh, there's a lawsuit against this person, or there's a lawsuit against the house. So you see, and there you're literally mapping how bad or how good the lead is. And then when you call them, there's multiple ways you can do the call. Hey, I'm calling you from a New Jersey County tax 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 fund. And what does that mean? Yeah, well, basically what we do, man, we review your situation as far as taxes, and if you qualify, we might be able to pay something towards your taxes. What's going on? That's one way as far as to do reaching out to coast violation people, not as you trying to buy a property, you're trying to qualify them. So when someone hears the word, let me see if you qualify, they're gonna be open up and upfront with you. They're trying to give you almost all the information so you see you can qualify them. So let's say, you know what, man, okay, so the house, how's the house? What's going on with the taxes, first of all? Oh, I got lost my job, etc. Okay, perfect. Well, what's the condition of the property? Is it good condition, or it needs a lot of repairs? So you know that. And what made you come to this point? Again, usually taxes can be paid on a monthly basis or might be paid on a yearly basis, but it's better to pay it on a monthly. And then they open up, oh, this happened, etc., etc. And then if you think it doesn't qualify, you know what, man? Based on what you're telling me, the property does not qualify for what's it called, for a tax credit from the New Jersey tax fund. So what's going to be your game plan? I know you owe taxes. Eventually, somehow, someday, the county and the city is going to try to take the property away from you. Again, are you maybe interested in maybe having me bring a partner in from another company that we know that buys properties for a living? Maybe might be able to cash you out, uh, get you away from this problem as far as being a bad house and knowing taxes. Maybe put some money in your pocket and you can start fresh somewhere else. Again, most people don't do that, but again, at least you have the option now. You met me and we saw that your property does not qualify for the fund, but I gave you an option that you might be able to sell it. But most people don't. Again, you put that most people don't, but if you do, just let me know. You're not trying to convince them to do anything. You're actually telling them most people don't, and you probably won't qualify. So again,
Cool, man.
that's how I'll reach out to those people. Just create a conversation. You know what? I'm calling for, and it's, you know how to create a website. You just create New Jersey Tax Fund, or let's say Dallas Tax Fund, and then you call on your behalf on the tax fund. Hey, is this Mr. and Mrs. X for the property? Yes. Well, yeah, I'm calling from the nonprofit New Jersey Tax Fund. What we do is basically we try to see if we can credit customers some towards the taxes because they're past due. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, well let me see if you qualify, ma'am. Now the property, it's only you and your husband that owns it, or except again, then you go in there to digging out for information. Oh, what made you get to this situation? How come you're past due 3 years? Okay, perfect. Now the property, most things that we do, we qualify. We try to look properties that are in good standing. How's your property compared to a good standing property? Like, whoa, okay, okay. How's the AC? Have you fixed that? And then now you know the picture of the house. You know what? Unfortunately, man, based on what you're telling me, and they don't know your guidelines. So again, at least thank you for opening up to me, man. But based on what you're telling me, it sounds like it probably doesn't qualify for a tax credit. But again, what's going to be your next step? I know we try to help you. I know eventually the county and the city will try to sue you for the property and take it away from you. Again, we do work with other partners that what they do is basically they buy properties in the current condition like yours, and maybe even help you go into your next step in your life with some money in your pocket and let you forget about this problem. So you see, most people don't
Nice.
take it because they can handle it their own selves. But again, at least you know there's people out there that can buy properties that are similar to yours and not a great of a shape. So yeah, that's how you will target those. Um, and
That's
just
very
keep
creative.
on digging in. Yeah, keep on digging into to your county, what's called county website, and learning what's posted, etc. Learning documents. Okay, this is this, and that helps you. But yeah, congrats, man. Just
Gotcha.
keep on doing what you do and execute. Again, in worst case scenario, you always tell them, you know what, man, I just got hired by this company. In case I do apologize if I misspeak. I get a little bit nervous. I'm not used to talking to people. What's it called, that I don't know over the phone for the first time. So again, that already alleviates them from being assholes to you, because you're telling them, hey, you know what? I apologize. I just got hired. I appreciate this company because they gave me a chance. But I the only person that I'm comfortable talking to is probably my mom, not even my wife. I mean, you make things like that up so they can feel they you any barriers that they had, they're gone. So if you fuck up, they're okay. You know what? This guy, he's new. So you see, that's where it's psychologically you putting yourself in the best position so that if you do mess up, yeah, don't worry. It's your first day. Like nobody is an asshole to someone. It's the first day. The same thing, you can do that when you, let's say you're nervous when you make a speech in front of people. I was telling you, you know what, guys, I'm not used to talking to more than two people at once. So again, I apologize in advance in case I mess up or if I stutter. Then that makes you feel more comfortable, and then that makes the crowd. Don't be an asshole to this guy. He's telling us up front that again he's not that great of a speaker.
Cool, man. That's a lot to digest, but thanks for sharing. Now, what about satisfaction of mortgage prospect? What's your approach to them?
So those are basically paid in full houses. So what you can do again, um, there's two ways. There's always going to be people targeting them for what's it called, for to get new loans, or people that are going to be targeting them for other type of products. So you know what, the house is paid for, anything. Just bring in that you did that. Okay, how would I call them? So it's ring, yes, Miss X. You do have a house there on 123 Main Street. Perfect. Well, we just got a notification by county that you paid your house in full correctly. Like, yeah, oh, congratulations. Well, what we're doing, we were trying to see if there's any people or neighbors in this area that might be open to maybe selling their house for a little bit of profit, since it's paid in full, and then moving on to a next neighborhood as far as that we're going to be creating or going to be building. But the first thing we want to know is, are you interested in maybe getting a cash offer for the property that you have? I know you probably won't, because again, you just paid it off. I guess like me, when I just finally pay my car off, I'll have one next month. I'll pay another. So just make it conversational, something that can hear you out. You know what? There's a new neighborhood that's coming up. Again, this area is gonna get I got a new business. I know you maybe like my mom. She doesn't like a lot of traffic, so usually she wants to stay in the quieter neighborhoods. And where she's at right now, it's not a quiet neighborhood. So we're trying to see if there's any interest, and then maybe selling their current house and moving on to a house that's further out of the city, so they can live again, basically have no noise. And I know my parents, they don't like the noise. They don't even like me when I go out there to visit them. So something like that makes it a conversation. Remember, it's paid in full. And again, how it's paid in full is like me when I first paid my car. It took me 5 years and a half to pay my car. And I was thinking to myself, they're hearing you out. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm never going to sell this car. And then I was driving through a dealership. Oh, wow, look, brand new car. So guess what? I'm driving a brand new car. I traded in that car that I took me 5 years and a half to pay. Now I got a brand new car. Same thing with houses. Like I told my parents, usually you're good with a house that is paying full, but then you see another house. You know what? I might be able to buy that one. So you see, that's true. Again, it happens. How many people say I'm not ever gonna trade my car in? I have friends that trade in their car every 2-3 years, even though it's a brand new car. Imagine if how soon they'll sell a car if it was a paid in full car. That's the conversation you want to have with them. You're not selling them anything. You're not asking for anything. You're just conversating. Well, I know most people that paid off their mortgages are gonna be elderly people. They're not gonna be young people. So our elderly people that have been there maybe like 20 years, the average mortgage gets, I don't know what that, but I think it gets paid off in 20 years, maybe 30. So these people are maybe 45, 50. You know what? Your house is in a great location, but with that, it comes with new development and more noise. And I know like my mom, she doesn't like that much noise. So people have been calling her to sell her house so that she can move into a house that's way more out of the city with more peaceful, so she can go to sleep early and go and wake up early in the morning with no confusion or no issues with as far as people getting upset, or her getting upset because there's music with new neighbors, etc., etc. Just make some type of conversation like that where you're bringing in your parents. Also, you're telling yourself that, you know what, I wasn't thinking of selling my car, but I saw a new one and I was already put it in, give me a new car, etc. So just anything to that fact works. Just make it a conversation.
Cool, man. I'm gonna have to rewatch this probably twice to go over that again.
Yeah, and just make it simple. You don't have to be too complex.
How would you prospect federal tax liens?
Federal tax liens.
Yeah, I saw a few of those come up on my search too.
Okay, the same thing. Again, you first look. Okay, is it, because federal tax liens you might get a lot, or it depends.
Yeah.
Just whatever you get, try to siphon them out. Okay, do I like the area? Yes. Can I do a second what's it called, a second verification? Does it owe taxes, etc.? So let's say you have a house that you like, that it has a tax code tax violation as far as delinquency, a code violation, etc. You call them. Hey, again, you don't have to bring the federal tax in, etc. You can just say, hey, we drove by this area again. My boss said he's trying to see if there's any other people selling their properties here. I know Mrs. Garcia down the road, I think on Main Street, she sold her house. Again, federal taxes were fucking killing her. The government wanted to take her house away. They recorded a lien, but she was able to cash out her house without having to lose it to the government. But I don't know if that's your situation. But again, if you're interested in maybe hearing a cash offer, I can patch you to my boss. Is there any interest? Maybe you want to, probably not, right? Because I just called you out of the blue. So you're bringing in the situation she's in, but referencing a house that's, let's say you're on, the house is on Second Street, the street behind her is Main Street. So you're bringing, yeah, Miss Garcia or Miss Jones from Main Street. She called us up again. The federal government recorded a lien against her house, and she was going crazy. She thought she was going to lose it. She spoke to my boss. She was able to cash that out. Again, they cashed out. They actually even got a credit towards the tax lien when they called in to negotiate a payoff. So again, I don't know if that's your situation, but nowadays, again, things change. And if you have any interest in selling, let me know. Again, we can definitely put you in patch with my boss and see what he tells you. You're bringing in the situation with her. The same thing with the paid off houses. The same thing. Hey, we bought a house from Mrs. Jones. She had just paid her house in full. But I say, like me, when I pay my car in full, the next month I wanted to trade it in for a new one. So again, you just bring conversation, and you say it might not be your situation, but if it is, let us know.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's just, again, and this is where the shut up money conversation comes in. The guts, like you're not scared as far as being able to create a picture in the homeowner's mind as far as why you're calling them. You're creating a story.
Yeah.
You're literally telling that another person had the same situation. I don't know if it's yours. And maybe you say the foreclosure, and then you say the federal lien, and then you say that was paid for. Make two or three scenarios of people that your boss had bought houses from, and one of them is theirs, their situation.
Nice. Okay. All right. A lot to learn, but
yeah, and a lot of repetition. You gotta have a lot of repetition, because you might get stuck when you first say it, but the more you do say that, you know what, I just got hired. I apologize for maybe stuttering a little bit. Again, I just learned what I had to tell you guys as far as what's going on with my boss, and again, let us know. Again, you already are asking for an apology without even doing it, so which is good for us.
Cool. And for the POAs, that your approach to there is mail them something and say that I'm concerned about your house. Is that the game plan for the POAs? Okay.
Yeah, basically. I don't know if you look back on the what's it called, also on the vacant houses where you do that, and when you have an issue with the house, the same thing. It's like, and then you tell them, you know what? Yeah, my boss drove by that house. Again, he actually bought a house down the street. and again, a couple of cars were driving back and forth. They were throwing. I think they were probably young kids because they were throwing rocks. And I just wanted you to know, did you see that car maybe driving in that area? I know your house. We see it almost every other day when we pass by there. Um, did you see that car? And they're like, no, I didn't see that car. No, don't worry about it. I just want to let you know that that's going on. But by the way, again, I just wanted to let you know my boss is buying properties in this area. Again, if you're interested, maybe in getting a cash offer for your house. Again, he bought a house from Mrs. Jones back there, where she had a federal lien posted on her house, and she was really scared. But we were able to come to an agreement where she was able to get some cash. My boss was able to get a house, and again, she was able to move on to her next step in life. You see, you're calling in as a
Yeah.
concerned citizen. The story is that there were some kids throwing rocks. Your boss's house got some chip glass. Did you see that car? I think it was a red car or a blue car. No, I didn't see that. Oh, well, thank you. We're literally trying to reach out to the whole neighborhood to see, because my boss wants to file charges, but we don't know if it's a neighbor's kid or if it was somebody that just randomly went into the neighborhood. But yeah, again, we bought that house on the road, so we're trying to fix it. If there's any chance where you maybe want to sell yours, again, we are trying to buy more properties in this area. So you brought it in without bringing it in, and now you have the number of the lady, and now you do a follow up. Hey, Ms. Jones, I called
Gotcha.
you last month. We made you that letter about some concerns about that area. Like, yeah, well, we're just touching base again. We're almost close to finishing up the property that we told you about. Thank God that kid, what's it called, has not come by anymore as far as to break any windows. But again, are you maybe interested? Like, we saw it a couple of weeks ago. It still shows that it might be open to maybe getting a cash offer, etc. And then you just talk to them. Are you interested in maybe getting a cash offer now? No, thank you. Well, if you see that car, we haven't seen it anymore. But if you see it, just let us know. Give us a call, and then you call a month from there, and then a month from there, until you know that the house. Usually, the reason why you send those POAs is because they want to sell it, and most of the time, it's going to be a property that it's going to be an inheritance.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Let me.
Zero.
So, yeah. Are there any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I had a question. I'm having trouble getting that Coco. I had a baby.
But yeah, and that's basically again how I run my days. I try to, if you do hire, let's say you don't want to call, one of the things that helps you increase the what's called the ratio of this business being successful is doing your policies and procedures. Uh, so what does that mean? So for everything
Yeah,
that
what
you
does that
do,
mean?
so basically, how do I search for houses? How do I search for county searches? How do I search for this type of document? So basically, you do your, okay. First, the first branch of the business is acquiring leads. Okay, and then you break down. I have 16 leads.
Okay.
The old school way that we had it, what's it called, was basically doing writing it down. But you don't have to write it down, because basically, once you keep on growing, you basically want to hire people to do that part of the business. So what you do, you record that policy and procedure. How to get leads from PropStream for high equity. And then you search, you record that video, you do a screencast, and you put it under there. So when you want to show it to somebody else, you just go link to that video. How do I get this? Again, so basically you're breaking down your business. So right now, let's say you're freshly starting. All you got to do is basically do getting leads, how to talk to sellers, objections. So let's say later on you wanna hire a caller, and you want them to know, okay, what you know as far as your objections, and you have a list of your objections. When they say, let me think about it. When they say, I gotta talk to my husband. When they say, you're crazy. When they say, no, we're gonna list it ourselves. So all those, you can do your own videos, and maybe not even your own videos. Again, let's say you find videos on YouTube, you clip those, you download the video from YouTube, and you clip it, and you attach it there as your video. So when you want to show people, once you want to have that second person in your team to know how to do stuff, then you already can just patch them. You know what? Let me look at my policies and procedures. Okay, I'm gonna teach this person how to do what's it called, cold calling people, and I want to give her the top 10 objections and their top 10 rebuttals for the objection. Now you don't have to go back and think about it. It's already being recorded there. And that's where some people make mistakes of not putting that policy and procedure when they begin, and then when the business is already running, they're trying to slow it down to put it down on paper. So if you're just fresh starting, it's good because you literally are coming from the bottom up. You're not really, and you're starting from zero or at the ground level. But when you're already running the business, you're trying literally coming from when you're high performing now, you're trying to bring it down to try to put it on paper. So if you're just starting, start recording your policies and procedures, even the initial ones, the real simple ones. How to buy a bandit signs, or if you want to hire a VA and hey VA, can you buy me some bandit signs? They already know what you're working for, et cetera, et cetera. You have either a gift card or whatever, so they can order or whatever. How to submit your leads to our reply and blast them. Do a video, no more than 5 to 10 minutes videos where they can review it and they can actually do it for you. So again, if you're freshly starting your business, start doing those policies and procedures, and little by little start growing the little manual that you have on how to run your business. But at least you know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Great advice. Thank you, man.
Definitely.
Quick question for you, Ace. In regards to your door hangers, do you just put them on there if you can't get a hold of the person? Like if you knock on the door and they don't answer, or you just put the door hangers on there even if you don't get in contact with the actual homeowner?
So usually door hangers, if I like the area, I'm gonna map the whole area.
Gotcha.
So let's say it's again by subdivision, because once you know your areas, you can see the subdivision. Let's say the subdivision has 100 houses, right? So that means 100 houses. That's at 10 cents a hanger. Let's say what's $10, if I'm not wrong. So it's $10 a month. So you can map, so they can each person receive a door hanger. And if you have 1,000, that means for 10 months they will receive a door hanger from you.
Gotcha.
And remember, it's an area that you know that's where investors are buying now, because some properties in our areas, slowly, once they start getting more flipped houses being sold there, the neighbors are starting to make aware, oh, I can get a lot of money for my property. So maybe the profits there are shrinking because now most people are getting close to what their retail is because it's a hot area. But if you know where the market's going, or you know what, this market, they've had like 3 or 4 flip houses, so the neighbors don't know that much about that it's a hot area. I'm gonna map it before anybody others people have bandit signs or are targeting them. I want to be ahead of the curve. And if it's like that, where I can just do, if it's 100 houses, that's $10 a month, then literally I would do every single house in that area and be a top of mind where every single month I'm blasting it with 100 door hangers. And you don't have to do it yourself. Again, $100 hangers. If it's once a month, pay somebody $25 a weekend to do. Let's say they can do 30 a week, 30 a day. So for a weekend, you pay them $50, and they do your 100 door hangers. Because remember, that's gonna be your mining. You want to be there first by door hangers, because they're gonna see your door hanger. And remember, your door hangers. I actually do have one here. Have you guys seen my door hangers?
No, I haven't.
Okay, my door hangers. They doesn't say, the picture that you have doesn't say. Let me show it to you right now. It doesn't say, oh, I'm at houses and I have an ugly house. It's actually.
Oh,
wow.
It's something they can use. Hey, that's a funny video. That's a funny picture. Life happens. A little kid. It does happen, right? But when you flip it around, and it has, again, I buy houses, bank taking it back, inheritance. Again, my wife noticed that I do have a lot of errors as far as grammatical errors, as far as spelling. Which is good. I'm human. I'm not a perfection of a business. So it says bank taking it back, inheritance, too much repairs, changing city, kids left, needs bigger home, needs smaller home, owe taxes, owe tax company, foreclosure, divorce, owes too much, lost job, changing jobs, IRS liens, judgments against you, code violations from the city, cash out equity, two house payments, dealing with bad renters, retiring, travel the world, parents' old house. Call and then my number. But this is where it's gonna make them what's it called? Pick it up from the door. That
How
little
does
kid.
that work for you, Arturo? How's it working for you? What kind of return are you getting from doing those
I've
payments?
closed 2 deals from this. So I paid $300 for 5,000 of these,
Okay.
and I've only dropped probably like 500 of these.
Wow. Now, how
So
can you
I already
tell
made
that
close to, I think it was probably like 28,000. So
how
for
can you tell
$300,
that the guy is dropping everything and he's doing what he's supposed to? How do you track him or her?
the person that's dropping them off, again, you just talk to them. You tell them you're gonna get a bonus for every property that I do buy from that area, $500. And now
Okay.
these people that are doing my dropping off my what's it called, my door hangers, they're people that I play soccer, right? So they're usually young kids that I play with. They're much younger than me. Those are the ones that I target, because every time we play a game, I ask our teammates to pay $3 towards the referee fee, right? Because usually the game's gonna charge me $30 to play. So I usually charge them $3 per teammate to they can pay towards the ref. And some of these kids don't have money. They don't have $3. So if I offer them $50 for the weekend, shit, that's 50. That's a lot of money for them. And then if I offer them, if you do get a house and it's from you, you're gonna get $500. That's a lot of money for them.
Yeah, 500. Yeah.
So you just trust them. And again, you build that relationship with them already, since they've been basically playing with you soccer for the longest time. But let's say you just get them off a Craigslist, the same thing. Again, I need a 15 to 18-year-old, or maybe 18-year-old. You don't want to be, again, whatever, put yourself in a liability because you're hiring minors. But I need an 18-year-old or a college student that wants to earn $100 a weekend for knocking on 100 doors. You know what I mean? That's $100 a weekend for knocking on. Remember, if you have 100 houses, you only need to do it once a month. So if you pay this guy $100, and then usually the mailer, the hangers is gonna be like probably $10 if you do 100. So $110 every month for 100 houses. That's nothing. That's $1,200 a month, a year, for having the possibility of you getting these people 12 times a month, 12 times a year, seeing your door hanger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that is pretty powerful.
So again, and you test it. Let's say once you do hire them, and then what's it called? Let's say I want you to go on this weekend, this Saturday coming up. Do this here. It's 100 houses. You map them. You know how many houses are in the area. Once you do what's it called? You do the subdivision. You know how many houses are there. So you give them 100. Boom. Here's 100. And then guess what you do? You try. Let's say you tell them to go on Saturday morning at 9 p.m. 9 in the morning. Then you drive that area at 12.
Do you have a list form, Arturo?
No, because again, you don't want to make it complex. You want any house that you see, put it in the door. In the door. If you can't put it on the door because there's a gate, put it in the mailbox. In the mailbox, the mailbox has a little loop. So when you're let's say usually I want you to work from 9 to 3 p.m. So you drive at 4 p.m. and see if they dropped in the area.
Right.
So you should see a lot of them during that time. You know what I mean? Because again, most people won't take them off, or maybe they're busy, right? But then you know if they're doing it. And you're gonna have some fails where they might be skipping, whatever. But again, eventually after 12 months of doing this, most likely they're gonna be there.
Yeah.
They're gonna be there, and they're gonna be hit 12 times for the whole year for that area. So again, and it works. And if again, you always tell them, hey, I drove by the area, I saw some houses they didn't have door hangers.
Right.
Did you get scared? Again, you don't tell them why didn't you do them. You tell them, oh, did you get scared? I know there's some dogs in that area.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, maybe let's say he did skip them on purpose, But then you give him a leeway. Oh yeah, there were some dogs in the area, but guess what? He's thinking, oh shit, this guy's actually reviewing what I'm doing,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
he's not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah.
So again, remember these are kids. Usually, most kids do have they're good-hearted people.
Hmm.
Uh, so you trust them, but you monitor. And like they say, I don't know if it was Reagan or whoever said this. You trust what I tell you to do, but then you also verify. But when you question them, you don't question them. Hey, why come you didn't do this? You actually tell them, no, actually, oh yeah, that area has a lot of dogs. You probably skip it because there was dogs, right? You're already giving them a way out. Yeah, like, oh yeah, there's dogs.
Right.
So okay, so that's the way you do it, man. So if you do buy it, again, another hack, when you do buy door hangers, uh, Vista Prints where I bought them at, right?
Okay.
That's the company that I used to buy them. But if you buy the whole 5,000, they always upsell you when
I
you
know.
first get the. So what I did when I noticed that I canceled my whole order the first time, so the second time I only ordered 2,000, and they told me once I paid for the 2,000, they said, oh, by the way, do you want to increase it to another 3,000 for half the price? Fuck yeah. So literally, I think it came down to like 4 cents per door hanger.
Hmm.
That was my sales price. That was my price. But remember, you can use this image again. I googled that from Google and I got it from there. It's a little kid that dropped some spaghetti on top of his head. Life happens. Something funny, because this can be a bookmarker. This is a funny thing. It's not. It doesn't say, oh, I'm trying to buy a house. It's just something funny. But on the back, it's another. So yeah, that's how I did those. And yeah, just again, I've gotten 3 deals from it. Um, but yeah, and I haven't dropped them all. I still have a lot of them in my house, because remember, those are the ones where I'm targeting certain subdivisions that I don't want to map into every single one, but I'm just doing it to the certain subdivisions that I know that there are basically they're the subdivisions that are getting to a point where investors are now looking into those subdivisions. So if I know they're looking to those subdivisions, and eventually I'll call them. Eventually they'll sell, and they've had 12 door hangers in their house.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just a matter of, and it's $100. It's much better than the bandit signs, because it's a targeted marketing. You're literally targeting those houses. But yeah,
What
that, go
what
ahead.
signs do you look for whether a neighborhood is starting to infiltrate with investors?
So usually there's hacks that you can do with list source, but basically is you look at where buyers are buying right now. Oh, there's a hot subdivision, right? Let's say
Hmm.
it's right here, and then you see, well, actually there's kind of similar homes 3 miles that way or 4 miles that way, but they're not buying it. But eventually they'll start buying it.
Mm.
Anywhere that you see where the investors are buying, look within the first 5 miles. Try to see if there's any similar homes in those areas, but not in that
How
specific area right now they're buying. Go ahead.
how often do we have to do the least source trick? Does the buying criteria change?
So again, this is where you know your market. This is where you have to learn your market. Once you do it once, let's say you drop me up here in my area the first time. I'll try to map all the cash sales. Okay, I know they're buying here and they're buying here. Then as I speak to investors, et cetera, I know, you know what, this area is getting saturated, but I saw an investor bought over there. Because you drive those areas, and you saw a dumpster being where a house is getting remodeled, and you see another dumpster where that house is
Mhm.
being remodeled on a totally new area. Oh, you're like, oh shit, somebody knows something that I can use to market here in this area.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So again, yeah, slowly, surely, once you learn your market, as far as you talk to, I can remember, because part of this is selling the deals to your investors. So if you're selling your deal to the investors, you know where they're buying somewhere else. You can track them. Again, in the county records, you can track the LLCs of the investors, and you can tell which areas they're buying. So if you already know this investor bought a house from you as a wholesale deal, just really literally search all his previous purchases through the county records and see on the legal description, okay, what subdivision is this guy buying in? And then you go there. You know what I mean? Because again, if you can make 100K, let's make it reasonable. If you can make 30K from every investor you know, you only really need to know 10 investors to make 300K a year.
Mhm.
That's it. I only need to know 10 investors. Let me get the top 10 investors in this area. Let me look at where they're buying and then market there, market there, market there, market there, market there. Hey, James, you bought it right here down the street. I got a similar house there in your area. And then you already know. You know you bought there. But yeah, man, that's what I would do if I was brand new to a market. First, do the hack, and then learn the area. Again, I think this business is about learning, and this is what investors don't do. Investors don't want to learn shit. They don't want to learn how to talk to people. They just want a house. But if I know your traits, your habits, I can monetize those habits by knowing where to market, what type of house he bought, and I'll do the legwork as far as marketing, talking to clients, and I'll make 30K for those deals because you don't want to do the legwork. All right, guys. Any other questions?
Yeah, I did have a question, Arturo. I was asking earlier about them code violations. I don't know if you were answering me or you was answering somebody else, but I'm having trouble getting that list. I don't know what it is, but I can't get that list. A lot of these communities are telling me we just don't have a list like that. So I'm trying to figure out how can I get I know they got the list, but how
Have
can
you
I
run
actually get it?
have you run into any code violation trucks?
Okay, I
Have,
have.
ha- have you seen them? So when you see one, stop by. Hey, my boss, he's a local investor. He's been trying to find out properties that they get code violations, and I see your trucks that you drive around. Do you know where I can find these leads? They're like, well, no, I can't tell you that. Well, and it happens again, but he does pay me for these leads. Do you maybe can you tell me like get a list of the ones you do see, and I'll pay you $5 per, or I'll give you $500 every time I close one, or just follow them. But yeah, if they're not in the county records, it has to be somewhere,
Yeah.
especially if you see those trucks driving around your area.
Okay, and you say offer to pay him $5 somebody called me, interrupted. You said $5?
Yeah, you
Uh,
can pay him $5 per lead, but again, hoping that he only has like 10 leads, so that's
right,
$50, right? Um,
right.
but if not, again, there's multiple things you can do. Again, don't take this as advice, but there's GPS trackers, right?
Yeah,
So if you can buy like a $10 GPS tracker, when that truck parks somewhere, just put it there and just track where he goes. And wherever he stays more than 10 minutes, that's probably a code violation. Something,
gotcha.
man. I'm willing to lose that tracker for $10, but at least I know.
Right.
So again, there's multiple ways you can do it, especially if they're not what's it called, if they're not wanting to give it to you. It has to be somewhere. Um, you can do because what's code violation might be also be a water shut off. What else can it be? It can be tax delinquent property as well for a code violation. Um, or you can always also just, I don't know how big your market is just follow the truck.
Yeah,
Follow the truck when you see one, just follow it, especially in the morning, because those guys like to go in the morning. They start their job in more. So in my area, I know where the trucks they park. I know exactly where they park.
okay.
Because sometimes I go and see if I can get my bandit signs back, because they taken it, but I couldn't. I don't know where they put them, but I know where they park. I know where they have their house. So then guess what? At 7 in the morning, I'm gonna be there, and
That's
I'm gonna
that's
be.
being that's being frugal, bro. I like that.
Yeah, I don't like I don't have to. But yeah,
Slick.
once you know where they park, just and usually they have truck numbers.
Okay.
They
And usually they park at like the municipal building, right?
Yeah, they usually park at the municipal. Yeah, that's where mine parks. It's a municipal building, and they have like a little parking garage.
Okay,
Just
perfect.
wake up early, grab yourself some lunch. Don't go to the restroom, so you don't have to go to the restroom for the next 5 hours, and just follow this dude.
That's what I'll do. Thanks for
And,
that advice.
and guess what? You're also gonna learn the area by driving for dollars.
Yeah.
You're driving for dollars, but you're also doing a secondary benefit by following the code violation guy. And if he stops you, hey, well, I got paid to follow you, man, because I couldn't get the code violation list. I gotta follow you.
I think I plan my day Tuesday to do that.
Yep. And record it a little bit, see how it works. I want to see how it works.
Yep, I will.
All right, my guy.
All right.
Any other things before we wrap up? Any other things, guys?
That's it, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
All right, man.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
want you guys to be actionable. Whatever you learned today, if you learn anything, be actionable, because next week, if you guys come to a call, I'm going to ask you, hey, what'd you do this? That's the best way to do things, man, because sometimes, again, we're in the habit, me, myself, I put myself in that boat of learning one thing and not doing anything about it. We got to learn it. And again, if you learn 10, at least do one. Do one and then master it and then go on to the next one.
How did that app I gave you,
You know what? To be honest with you, I have not gotten into it. The Step Up, something like that, right? And I have it here. Let me see.
Because it saves you gas, but what I notice about it is at first you get like 13 cents per mile off, but after a while it only gives you like 2 or 3 cents. I'm noticing. So I don't know what that's about.
I actually Googled that day you told me, and I opened up the website. I just haven't had a chance to actually pay with it.
Yeah, because what it does is it loads money into your app back there. So the money that you save, it actually builds up into cash that you can access.
Okay, perfect. That's good, man. Yeah, I'll probably get my wife to do it. She's more into, she's sedentary. She likes to just be on the computers. I'm easily distracted, man. Trust me, I'm easily distracted. But yeah, man, thanks for that hookup for the AppSide app. But yeah, let's have a great weekend, guys. Let's be actionable of what we learn, and let's go from there, man.
You do the same. Have a good holiday, Arturo.
Likewise, stay safe. Eat a lot of turkey.
Yep, you too. Everybody, have a good holiday.
Take care.
Hey, thanks, man.
Likewise, brother.